Okay, so for those of you who are joining us online, we just finished doing what I'll include on your file or include with this email to watch this is the Big 5 personality test. So you will take it and then you will score it. Make sure you follow the directions. As each number goes here, then you add and subtract according to the specific number scores. And then there'll be this sheet of paper, which I gotta include here real quick. Whoops, I'm putting it in the wrong thing. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, probably because they're up. That makes sense. Okay, let's try. There we go. No. Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so hopefully everyone has it scored. If you the scores are between 0 and 40. So if you think about 20 is mid-range, okay? So if you scored kind of in the 20s and above, if you scored anywhere between that 10 and 20, you're kind of in mid. Then lower and then higher, or really 15 to in that middle, like anything kind of near that 20 mark is kind of middle, 10 plus or minus, okay? So let's look at, you guys have this handout, okay? And so go ahead and like circle on yours where you see, or where your scores put you at, like which ones were high and which ones were low. Because this tells you like agreeableness, what are the things, or even highlight or underline. Go ahead and read through what are the things, if I have low agreeableness, what things are true for me. If I have high agreeableness, what things are true for me, okay? According to that, what are true for you, what are aspects, and then we're gonna have discussion time about then how does this play into you as an athlete or in exercise? How do these features impact some of that, okay? So be reading and underlining. Antonia, do you have the seating chart thing? Okay. When you get a chance, can you take attendance at any point in the time? You don't have to do it right now. Yeah. Just sometime before we leave. Yeah, what is true for you as like, oh, because I am low in this, these are the true aspects. Oh, because I'm high in this, this is what's true of me.
What if like you're in the middle?
Then you highlight the things that you do see and believe are true or not true. Yeah. And then be thinking to yourself, how does kind of being in the middle of this, how do you see it impacting you? What'd you score on agreeableness?
19.
Middle ground. Depends. Jess, what did you score on agreeableness? Okay. Carla, what did you score on openness to experience? There's almost the highest that could possibly be. Kayla, what'd you score on openness? 25? Okay. I still think you're a 9 in denial, but no, I'm not about to tell you what you are. But that middle ground. Yeah.
Question.
Oh gosh, I was like, where did that come from? Yes.
Can you send me that Word document you have up right now?
It should be in the chat section.
It won't open. It's that first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't open.
Okay. Send you a quick email. Okay, so as what do you think introversion and extroversion has to do, or how does it impact exercise and sports?
I know like our team, communication is like a huge thing, and so like I know a lot of our more extroverted people have better communication on the field, and then more of our introverted people are kind of more shy, not really shy, just quiet.
Yeah. They make it harder? Extroversion? Okay, I was like, that's an interesting perspective. I may probably, yeah, I'm slightly opinionated. Yeah. I was like, just a tad opinionated. There's a lot of them. But an introvert's not gonna share them. I will share them freely. Yeah. Well, I think about, okay, does extroversion and introversion have a place in different sports? Is there certain sports where extrovertedness is a benefit? And is there some sports where extrovertedness might not be as beneficial?
Yeah,
Golf, right? Drive me bonkers. What did you score, Joe, on introversion, extroversion? Okay, kind of middle ground. Okay. Break things. Okay. Well, I mean, running. Now, I want to be careful. Okay, so in psychology, I want to make sure you have a good, solid understanding of the difference between introversion and extroversion. Because this is not shy and outgoing, okay? Has everyone in here taken a class from Larry? Okay, he's introverted, extremely introverted, okay? But he's like, woo, 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 right? And he can be fun, and he talks in front of him. He was a pastor for years. And but when he gets done talking, he wants to go take a nap and like curl up in a cave and read a book for 5 more days. All right, by himself. Because an introvert is going to get their energy by being introverted, like being by self. Okay, so their battery, internal self, gets charged by being alone. Extrovertedness gets recharged by, I could literally, before class, when I go take a nap, I come to class and I am teaching, I see like people and humans, and I'm like, what do you want to go do? I got all the energy in the world. Who needs coffee? Well, I still do. But like, I just get so much more energy being around people. Like, there was even a difference. I don't know if anyone else experienced this, but during spring, the shutdown, stay-at-home order, who are my extroverts who just like, yeah, it was horrible. Like I went to almost like a 2 weeks and I was like in a depression, and I'm over here talking to my extremely introverted husband, and I'm like, this is horrible. He's like, yeah, this is what introverts have to deal with all the time, being around other people. And it takes a global pandemic for you to experience it. That soft heart. Yeah, right there. But 2 weeks in, and thankfully Heartbeat gives me a call and it's like, hey, all my people left. Can you come in and work? And I was like, yes, I will. If I can work the window. Like first person that came in, hi, how are you? Like, how is your day going? I think I scared them for first person. And plus, if you know Tara, she's like fine if you never talk to her at all like while working with her. And there's, hi, Sarah, like asking her like 500 questions in like 10 minutes. Then she's like, I'm gonna go do some accounting work in my office. So, but I need humans. That's extroverted. I may be outgoing, but there's some very shy extroverts, and there's some very outgoing introverts. It is solely how am I getting my energy based off of extra outside, or am I getting energy from inside being alone? And y'all drain people, right? So that's where that depends. Don't get that confused, because it's a bad misconception that introversions are shy and extroverts are outgoing. Yes, stereotypically, but not always, because there's an insecure and a confident piece that can really affect that as well. Okay. And the introverts, how does the introvert, maybe if the introverts in the room can speak to this, how does it impact you being on a team energy-wise? And how do you think that introverts, how does the team dynamic impact you? Okay. Right, too much. Or what is it like for like games away and you're on the bus, or you're on the like pretend there's no one else around me? That's hilarious.
Yeah, he puts the calm people with him, and then he sticks the loud people with him.
That is smart. Did you hear that? That's great. Makes one bus all the like the introverts, all the quiet people, and one van that's going is all of the extroverts and loud people. That is fantastic. Yeah.
I don't think
Why is Malone that hard extrovert?
Oh, I think that's just, can't you just see Hoxie going?
It's so bad. Like we do that like without thinking.
That's
like,
totally.
we split up, and it's based on like fun bus or sleep bus.
Well, also think about what your coach can probably tolerate. That's why he picks the sleeping bus. And the loud bus, Malone is just like, okay. He'll zone you out and he won't even know people are talking.
As long as you play those, it's fine.
Right, right. Yeah. So that's, yeah. And perks of being the head coach. Okay. Agreeable. Did you have a question? She got kicked off the quiet bus. That's funny. Okay, let's move on to agreeableness. So who can kind of give me a short definition of agreeableness? Short definition of agreeableness. Yes, and speak loud.
Someone who always accepts everything, even though it's not their opinion, but just to go with the ground, to be respectful. So,
Okay. So a 9, yes. Just the smile and nod can be. Not always, but I mean, well, yes, all 9s would score high in that.
well, I score high on it too, but I think
Yeah.
it's more so that I not necessarily relate to the people, but I can have an insight like on how they feel.
Yeah,
You know, not invalidate their feelings. That's really just saying it.
right, right. Which is a key component of a 9, but like I think 7s too, because 7s won't even talk to and tell a sad story because I don't want other people to feel sad. And so but can be, not all 7s, but some 7s can be that empathetic, and sit with other people's yuck. Not all 7s can do that, but seeing other people's perspectives and sides and sitting with that. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, 2s also, but also 8s get a bad rap for this, but a lot of times healthy 8s can be some of the most like easygoing, chill with the flow type people. Nothing really rocks their boat and then it really rocks a boat. I just want to poke the bear. Okay. So how does a low score and agreeableness affect the team?
We never agree on nothing.
What?
We never agree on anything. Never agree on anything.
Never agree on anything? Okay. Agreeableness is not always just like this. It's a friendliness piece. It's the how's my ability to get along with different personalities? So how is it for you? How does someone who's low in agreeableness, so kind of it can be in this my way or the highway, it should be done this way, I don't give a crap if you like me or not. This is, I know Jess is like that a lot. Yeah.
Yep. That's her.
Not at all. Is she like that on the team?
Yes, he is. I like that. You do it this way. You probably supposed to.
Well, is that are you a captain? Seniors. Okay. Okay, but what impact does that have on a team when someone's low in agreeableness? In that fact of not friendly, not accepting of other point of views.
In all honesty, I just don't want those people.
Okay, so would you say it kind of causes a division? It causes separation?
He said, don't cooperate or trust me.
Ooh, don't cooperate or trust rules. Yeah.
I'll talk to them when it comes to like a team standpoint, but like if we're like in the dugout, they're just like, I want that.
Okay, unapproachable.
It's the energy they give off.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like it just like creates like a division where like they're not like, oh, okay, we can try like this one, or we can try like this one, things like that. Like, I guess
that might be a little bit more to that openness piece that we'll talk about in a little bit. But it is interesting. It would be interesting to see the correlation to someone who's agreeable to their level of openness. I would imagine there's some there. But do you have, I mean, are there people, don't call them out and don't look at them, but like, do you have the people in your team, or have you had, maybe it was in high school or whatever, or different college, a player who was just very hard to work with? They didn't mesh with people. They were kind of or it was just like one or two or three people, like almost like the cynicism group, like all the critical people, all the people that just hated everything about coach and everything about the team, and coach is out to get me, and they just kind of like, I said don't call them out. Oh, I know. Well, on both counts, but I'm just like, I said don't call them out, because we might have some that are, I don't think we have any that are watching, but anyway. Sometimes, kind of like Carly said, there is an energy that kind of, and there's a poison and a toxic that can kind of go around about this, okay? So would it be helpful to know as a coach going in what a player might score on agreeableness? Are they going to be conflictual? Because someone who scores low in agreeableness is going to be very conflictual. I don't have a problem telling you what. I don't have, you know, causing problem. I'm not going to listen to you, because you're a coach. Or that, here's that low in agreeableness sometimes has that wonderful philosophy of, I'll respect you when you respect me. If you don't respect me, I'm not. That's not a thing. That doesn't even make sense, logical sense. Like, who starts? You know, okay, well, I'll respect you. Okay, now I'll respect you, but I won't respect you until you respect me. Well, I'm not, like, who's gonna respect who first? You know, stupid. Okay. Some of the philosophies that come up is just special. Okay, conscientiousness. Okay, you scored high. Conscientiousness. Right, it is. Conscientiousness. Okay, so if someone is conscientious, they are very controlled, very regulated, very structured, very like they can control their impulses. I'll be wild crazy, but not in this situation. I think about it like Dr. Vivara and I and his family, we are very close. And how I am on, like, as almost like a sister in his family kind of thing. I'm not going to treat him like that. I'm not going to treat him or respond to him at school in front of like staff and faculty, how I would, and maybe like put jabs and, you know, jokes and give him a hard time. I would not do that. That is someone who's conscientious. So I'm like, I'm going to control myself. I'm not changing who I am, but I can control how I present myself in certain circumstances. Does that make sense? Conscientious is someone who can order their schedule, time management, structure, you know, that kind of stuff. So how would, in sports, team sports, how does conscientiousness come into play? How is it beneficial, and why is it important?
You know how to react to like, say, Karina will react to aggressiveness with gestures. Karina would like the softer voice.
Okay.
Jess will require, hey, pick your stuff up.
Okay. So as a coach, it would actually be very advantageous for me to exercise some conscientiousness, to know when to let my anger and frustration out on a player, not on a player, but at a player kind of, versus kind of be a little more tender and more like, okay, encouraging to one player, than the other. That would be someone who's high in conscientiousness. How else? Hey, softball. Do we have some problems with some conscientious people on time management skills? Okay, so a team that has to keep running for people who cannot get a like what is it? That's the alarm clock going, right? And so that's a not conscientious. Okay, I'm curious. What did you guys score?
I got
That's interesting. Kind of middle ground. Okay. Really? Okay. Okay. What did you score on conscientiousness? Yeah. Okay. Okay. What did you? Yeah. There's my real 7. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's why I'm hearing all these 27. My highest score that I got was a 16 on any of them.
Okay. But how does high conscience, who scored over 30 on conscientiousness? Okay. How do you think that, I could see that. How can that maybe impact in a positive and potentially negative way having high conscientiousness? Selfishness? Tell me about that. Okay, almost getting so rigid that it needs to be on my time frame on this and kind of done this way regardless. Yeah, that can definitely be. Yeah, that's sometimes really nice. You can always count on that they're the ones, they're sometimes more anal retentive, like they really make sure they're the ones in class like create notes or yeah.
I know, you said that up to a minimum need for achievement. I mean that
And high conscientious people kind of have the thought process, if I do this and this and this and this, then I will achieve. That's kind of their, like, if I am regimented, if I have the structure, I think of like sometimes with some athletes, you know, they have like very strict regimen. I wake up at this time, I do it this way. It almost borders on a little OCD, but sometimes they put a fancy little term like superstition on it to make it feel a little bit better. But like things are done a certain way, but there is an aspect to very high conscientiousness can sometimes be where they're inflexible to any shift or change. And why would that be a problematic? They can't conform to different game plans. Yeah, different coaching styles. They would struggle being on, and yeah, team period is sometimes difficult because then I don't understand why you do what you do. If you would just follow the rules and do it like this, then everything would be fine. They can get frustrated really easy, and doesn't life change all the time? Like in games and all of that kind of stuff. So neuroticism and emotional stability, I feel like is a duh statement. But having someone who's more emotionally stable isn't going to cause you as many problems. There's also, as we think about psychologically, as far as like depression or anxiety, people who are higher in neuroticism have higher levels of anxiety, depression, things affect them more. And so having low on that is helpful to like, I'm not as impacted by, and I don't let my it's like, oh, a difficult thing happens and I can't function. I can't go to class. I can't go to practice. I can't go do this. Those are oftentimes people who are high in neuroticism. They can't handle, like, I think about like fainting goats. Okay, openness to experience. Why is this helpful in sports? Having it maybe a high level, and what maybe why a high level can be detrimental at the same time.
Want to be involved.
Okay, they want to be involved maybe in even helping give ideas of what they can do. Let's try this, let's do this. Having a balance, I think even listening through this, how important it is to have a balance, like captains, you know, like having a couple of captains, or I think it's wise to have like, there's a captain, here's a field captain, here's another, like, to bring different dynamics on the team, where you have someone like, maybe we need to try something like this, and try something different. But then when someone is too high in openness, then they don't handle regimen very well. If a coach is like, on Mondays we come here and do this, on Tuesdays we come here and do this, and it's just monotony, they're not going to handle that very well, because they need change. They need something new, something different, kind of a thing. Okay. Yeah, closed people versus open people, they prefer familiarity over novelty. And so they actually don't want change. They want stability. They want to know what to expect. Okay. For Thursday, I will be putting a link. It's a free link in an email. No, I'll be putting it on your portal. If you have already taken the Enneagram test with me, don't feel like you have to take it again. But if you have not, you need to before Thursday, and you need to bring your results, okay? I'm pretty familiar with the people who've been in my classes and they've taken it. If you have taken it elsewhere, then, yeah. Again, it takes maybe 10-15 minutes to take this little quiz online. Just print it out, bring the little 1-sheet page, or 2 sheets maybe, to bring the results. And we're going to talk about how the different Enneagram numbers impact how we view our teammates, and we'll spend a few days on that, okay? I just helped you out.